On a good day, it's about like I'll say a normal day.
Uh,
A normal day, it's about an hour to get to the airport. And it's only, I mean, it's not that far. But just like LA traffic is crazy. But yeah, on a good day, like at 2 a.m., oh, it's like 35 minutes to go to the airport.
2 a.m.
So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
wait, so where are you from? You're not from LA, are you? Nobody's
No,
from LA.
I am from Dallas Fort Worth, Arlington,
Oh,
Texas.
snap. That's where I went to college. I
Yeah.
went to UNT.
You
Yeah,
did? I have friends who went
of course
there.
you did. Everybody went to
And I
UNT.
went to UT Austin and yeah, UT Austin.
Well, UT Austin. I went to University of North Texas, Dallas,
Oh,
or
that's
Denton.
cool.
Yeah, man.
How'd you like
I
it?
loved it. Wouldn't trade it, that experience, for the world.
What did you
I
major
majored
in?
in music education, if you can believe it.
I believe it. That's cool. Did you want to be like a band director or something?
No.
No, because all my band directors went to school and majored in music education. So I was like, oh, Mr. My band
Oh,
directors.
no. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you were in band? What did you play?
So I played the flute and the
Oh,
piccolo.
yeah. Piccolo.
Yeah, for a long time.
I got a Coast Guard friend who's just down the street. She plays piccolo for the Coast Guard. We went to high school together.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Man, I miss playing in the marching band. That was
Man, I
fun.
wonder if I know any of your directors.
Rick Baker,
Rick Baker. Oh,
Richard Thomas.
those names sound really familiar.
Do
Yeah,
they?
they
Yeah,
do.
they're still in Texas.
Dude,
So
did you know that UTA had a marching band but no football team?
I did
Yeah, I
not.
always thought that was weird. Isn't that
Huh.
strange? We
Yeah.
have a marching
Really?
band with no football.
No marching band?
Yeah.
That's a travesty. It's so much fun watching the marching band.
Well, there's a marching band, but there's no football team.
Oh, there's no football
Yeah.
team. Oh my. Okay.
I know, because I was like,
Wow.
I had a couple friends that went to UTA. Most of my friends went to North Texas or they went to TCU. But
Yeah.
then I had a couple
Best friend
friends
went to
that were like,
TCU.
they were stragglers. They like went to UTA for some reason. I was like, you got one of the best music schools in the country in your backyard and you're choosing UTA. Like the cost is probably the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, okay, so you grew up in DFW, man. Shit.
I did. Yeah. Born and raised.
I think I heard somewhere on a podcast somewhere, so it might have been Right Face. You were talking about how, oh shit, you did say Texas, didn't you? I knew that. I did listen
Yeah.
to your podcast, by the way, both of them,
Oh,
two
cool.
of them.
Thanks.
Not in preparation, but just because I just was curious and I was listening, and then I was like, I should message her. You said something about you were at I was going to say Fiesta, Texas, but that's not the one. It's Six Flags.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
where you decided you were going to be a Marine.
That is the story. Yeah, I never wanted to join the military, even though both grandfathers are Army retirees who served in Korea and Vietnam.
Holy
I just
moly.
never grew up with the military chip. Skipped a generation. My parents,
Yeah.
neither of them served. So yeah, I went to Six Flags Over Texas right after graduating high school, and they had an extra ticket for free. So who's going to turn down a free ticket, right?
Nobody.
So I
Especially at that
get
age.
there, and yeah, and they had these Marine Corps recruiters doing the Chin Up Challenge,
Of course.
which, if you're not familiar, which you should be, but it's like, the recruiting tool they use to get new recruits in. They have you do the pull-ups or the flexed arm hang for women, and if you do a good enough job, they give you a t-shirt or something.
I'm pretty
And
sure
of
they
course,
still do that.
they still do that, and it
Yeah.
works. Obviously I'm proof it works. I didn't even think I took a t-shirt that day. I just really wanted to like prove myself that I could do the flexed arm hang for a really long time, which I did because of marching band.
Yeah.
Because
Holding up that heavy ass piccolo.
when we messed up, they made us do push-ups, kind of
Yeah, they
like in boot camp. So like, well, not really a boot camp, but yeah, lots of push-ups.
A little different than
and
boot
so
camp.
they didn't really make us. I mean, yeah, they made us, of course, do push-ups, but it wasn't, for playing the flute incorrectly. So, yeah, I did the chin up challenge, and they were impressed, I suppose, and they gave me their recruiting spiel. And that's how I decided to join the Marine Corps.
You just decided,
So,
like, you just went home and you were like, you know what? I think I'm going to give these guys a call. They didn't even have to harass you, did they?
well, they kind of did actually. I was ready to walk away. I just wanted to do the challenge and go. And they were like, "Oh, so what do you want to do with your life?" And I'm like, "I want to go to college and I want to be a photographer or like a graphic designer."
Yeah.
At the time, I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, well, how are you going to pay for college?" And I said, "My dad, he's a doctor," because I was a brat and I just had to walk away, like giving them all the excuses why I don't need to join the military.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, "Well, did you know about this job in the Marines called public affairs?" And I said, "What's that?" And so they talked to me about this job where you could do photography, journalism,
Yeah.
newspaper reporting. And I
Yeah.
was like, "That sounds kind of cool." So yeah, I talked to this public affairs Marine who just happened to be there that day. And after talking to her, I decided to join the Marine Corps.
Dude, so the quotas, do they call them quotas in the Marine Corps? We
Yeah.
call them quotas in the Navy. So the quotas
Yep.
worked out. Like, they just happened to have a slot for you. They could
They
offer you a
did.
contract as a journalist.
They actually had one spot left in public affairs and I got it.
Is that what the recruiter told
So
you?
they say.
Yeah.
So they said spot left. But yeah, and then I also got the Marine Corps College Fund and all that. So that was cool. Which I used.
Of course you did, because now I'm not trying to skip ahead, but you are definitely now a ma'am. You get
I am. I am.
I saw a post and I was like, wait a minute. She went back?
California State Guard, yeah.
So that's not a Marine Corps thing. That's an Army National Guard thing, right?
It's loosely related. So we're not National Guard.
I'm so fuzzy on all that stuff.
Yeah. So 18 states have a state guard.
Okay.
Which is not a it's not a warfighting force. Right. So the California State Guard is an all-volunteer force that responds to natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, wildfires, things like that. Okay. So we're not deployable, but we're all volunteers.
Right.
And last November, I got this, I just got this bug to get back in uniform. And my buddy was telling me about the California State Guard. He's also a Marine veteran as well. He also served in the Army. And he's also in the State Guard. So he talked to me about it and it sounded great. And the only caveat is I get to wear an Army uniform instead of a Marine Corps one.
Yeah. I was like, that's the wrong camo. What is she doing? And then I saw the CA State Guard or whatever. I was like, what is that? Mm-hmm. Because like there's the National Guard, I guess there's state guards. So that's not, man, it's not like, I mean, it's like being in the reserves, except it's not like federal, right? Because I was in the Navy Reserves for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I got off active duty, well, almost 3 years ago now, because I was in the reserves for 2 years and I got out officially last summer. And so I was in the Navy Reserves for 2 years. I had to go every other weekend or every weekend, no, 1 weekend a month and then 2 weeks a year, all that jazz. Mm-hmm. But that was essentially like being in big Navy, except I only had to do it once a month.
Right. Yeah. This is, we have monthly drills, just like, I guess, like similar to a reserve unit. But so during COVID, when I joined, we, they swore me in last November. And then we had to start doing like Zoom drills because we couldn't really meet in person because of the pandemic going on. I go on missions, we cover training. So I'm basically doing what I was doing in the Marine Corps for the State Guard. So whenever we train for wildfire season, I get to go up in the helicopter and cover them putting out fires, things like that. Pretty cool.
It is cool. I don't wonder how many people, it's so funny. Like I was listening, I've listened to quite a few Right Face podcasts and all that stuff, but I was sitting there wondering, like, I wonder how many people in LA specifically who are there to do what you're doing even think about joining the State Guard or joining the reserve, like the Navy Reserves. I'm sure there's a NOSC somewhere near LA. San Diego's just down the road. Like that's such a brilliant move because the commitment's pretty small. And you get and you get a pretty good little paycheck.
Prior service either. You it's about 60% prior service, but there are plenty of jobs where we just need those special skills. So whether or not you've served, you can put on a uniform and serve your state. Yeah. And like I said, there are 18 states with the state guard. I know Texas has a state guard as well.
Right.
So, I mean, if I ever moved back to my home state, I could join that state guard. I have no plans to move. But yeah, so there are a lot of options. Yeah, and it feels good to be back in uniform and serving the state and my fellow Californians, and
right.
Yeah, on my own terms, and I get to follow my dreams while I do that.
Well, and it's a nice little extra chunk of change in your pocket while you pursue your dream.
Yeah, when I get put on state active duty orders, that is paid. The training itself is volunteer.
Drill weekends aren't paid?
Correct.
Brutal. Here I was thinking it was...
It depends on the type of training you're doing. If you're put on state active duty orders for that training, then you are. But I mean, most of the time I'm just volunteering my time to go cover the training that other service members are doing.
But hey, you know what? That's networking.
It's networking. It's great. It's fun. I like meeting people and sharing their stories. Like, some people retired, from the service after 2 or 3 decades, and they really wanted to continue serving.
Right.
And so they're back in uniform and continuing to serve, and it feels great sharing their stories.
Feels great to shave your face again and cut your hair and...
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love shaving my head. No, I'm just kidding. Never had to shave my head, luckily.
Thank God for that, right? Man,
but they're now allowing like the ponytails in uniform, which is a little foreign to me. Yeah. I've never done that, and I don't think I ever will.
Rocking the bun
but
still?
To each their own. I do the bun. Yeah, I do the bun.
The bun's classic. And it keeps everything out of the way. Like, I would imagine, like, a bun. Like, I've heard it's a pain in the butt sometimes, but, like, if you get a good technique, you're pretty solid. You're good to go.
I think it's more tactical, in my opinion, the bun.
Oh, yeah. That ponytail could get caught on all kinds of shit. I remember thinking we could be out doing maintenance or whatever, and if you've got a ponytail, that shit's going to get caught, or it could get caught.
But I mean, the powers that be decided it was okay. So, to each their own.
To each their own. So, okay, you're doing like a billion things, right? You told you
a gazillion.
I don't know. I don't know if this was like an exaggerated joke, but yesterday you messaged me you were doing like 7 IG accounts.
I actually have I monitor about 7. Yeah, I'll check it now. Let's see. I have my own personal one.
Right.
My cat's page, of course.
Right, I saw that.
The California State Guard.
Oh, you're managing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My 2 podcasts, production company, and a comedy page for the American Legion Post 43. So actually it's like 8, I guess. I don't know. 7 or 8. It's a lot.
That is a lot. Here I am struggling to try to do 2. Like, I don't know. I just suck at Instagram, I think that's my problem.
I think I like the More Than Just Bacon page. I think it's cool. Like, I like the title, first of all.
Thank you.
Because I like bacon.
Everybody likes bacon. Everybody likes bacon. But like, it's pretty, I thought it was pretty good. Like, you're more, like, how are we more than just a person who goes out and brings home the bacon? How are we more than just bacon?
Yeah.
It made sense.
That's really cool. So thank you for having me on, by the way. I didn't really thank you properly, but I appreciate it. Like, just meeting other veterans and just shooting the shit.
Dude, I seriously thought I thought it was going to be a win. I was like, okay, she has way more followers than me, but maybe I'll just send the message and be like, hey, you want to try this thing? Because I really do. I admire that about you. I admire that you're working so hard and that you're always uplifting veterans. I think that's fantastic. The world needs more of that. And I think it is on the rise. You see a lot more of that nowadays, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely.
But especially in things that are artful, which is why I like Right Face, because there are so many veterans, like, people get an idea of what we are, and they think that we're all just like short haircuts and, beefy meathead type folks. And it's like, well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, we do think, and we are creative, and, we have a lot of things to offer in the world aside from like shooting a gun and leadership and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we create.
I think there's this like kind of misconception that a veteran is either a hero or broken. Like, there's really no in between in the mindset of civilians, and it's hard for them, I think, to imagine a veteran who just happens to be a regular person but also a veteran.
Right.
like I'm a huge cat lover. You probably wouldn't meet me and think that I was in the Marine Corps, but yeah, I was. I just happened to be a Marine veteran, and I'm obsessed with my cats. I wonder where they are. They're hiding
You have
somewhere. I
an
was hoping they
Instagram
would join
page
us.
for your cats.
They have Instagram. But yeah, I have, we all kinds of passions and loves,
Yeah.
and so I think it's important to understand how multifaceted veterans can be.
Yeah. You were active for how many years?
I was 10 years active, and yeah, I was not affiliated until I got back in, but joined the California State Guard in November. So,
Right. 10 years active duty. How'd you feel about leaving? Like, I know I took a lot of shit because I put on first class in like 2.5, 3 years.
Whoa. Okay.
Well,
superstar.
Yeah, well, I was also old as fuck when I joined. I was 26. 26?
Okay. Yeah. By military standards, that is old as fuck.
Yeah. Most of the kids were like 10 years younger than me, almost 10 years younger than me. But so I came in as an E3 because of the college credit thing. And then my school was like a year long just to learn my job. And by the time I got out of school, I was eligible for E4.
Oh my gosh.
And because my contract gave me E4 because I was I was an electronics technician. So they gave me E4 right out of school. And then because my school was so long, I was eligible to take the E5 exam like 2-3 months after I got out of school. So I took the E5 exam and I got it first time, picked it up first time. And then, yeah. And then because I was just old and I kept my nose clean and did good work, I got really good on my my evals, my yearly evals. So if you get 2 early promotes on your evals in a row, then you get to take the next pay grade exam a year early. So that's what I did. I took it a year early, and sure enough, picked it up E6 first time up, like 2.5 years in. So I mean, finally, my age matched my pay grade, right? Because like, I would show up at my command, and they'd be like, "You're an E4. How are you this old and still an E4?" And I was like, I just got here.
I just got here. Simmer down now. Yeah. Let me catch up, okay? And then you did.
Where was I going with this? You got me all distracted. So
I don't remember, but I'm cool with that.
That's fine.
I just want to say, so it's interesting because in the California State Guard, there are no age limits.
What?
So we actually have like a 78-year-old lady serving in headquarters in administration. Dope. Yeah, it's great. And we have people all the time asking, are there any age limits? And the answer is no. You can join. You could be 100 and join. If you have a special skill that we need, then
wow. So is there a PT exam, like a PT test?
So it depends on what job you have.
Okay.
So if you're going to be fighting wildfires, then yes, you have to pass.
If you're rescuing people on a small boat, then yeah, probably.
But if you're going to be doing mostly administrative work or the kind of work that I do that doesn't require, arduous physical activity, then that's not
getting into a helicopter, crawling around at a wildfire, taking photos. Like,
well, hopefully I'm not crawling in the actual wildfire. That would be scary. That'd be kind of a cool shot, though. I'd get like a
dope shot
and like mount it to my chest and come get me.
That would be dope, right? From the ground up, it looks bigger than it actually is. Really, just like a little fire pit somebody has in their backyard. California's on fire constantly, so you guys are going to be constantly employed.
It's supposed to be a record-setting year for wildfires, which is
terrifying.
It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm ready for it. I've done the training. I'm ready to respond. That's our tagline: ready to respond.
Man. So wait. What happens if you get like a really sweet gig, and then guards like, hey?
So if I'm called up, then I get to take the orders.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's no one who can possibly take my spot, then I get to go.
What if it's like a breakout role? It's like a huge movie or something.
Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That hasn't happened yet so far.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look at what's his name? Rob Riggle. He was a Marine.
Yeah, he was
still he was a reservist, but he still kept doing it. He even went on deployments, didn't he?
He retired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I met him once. He's a cool dude.
I bet he is. He looks like an awesome dude.
He did this golf tournament to raise money for veterans, to help veterans, which was really cool.
I respect the hell out of that man.
Oh yeah, if you're a veteran and you're funny, you can make me laugh, and you give back to veterans, like wonderful. Wonderful, sir.
Wonderful. And he's cute as fuck. Let's face it. He's got those dreamy eyes.
He's got this great, like ageless quality about him, like a very boyish, charm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what I saw.
So he represents veterans well.
What did I see him?
And I appreciate that.
I don't remember what it was. Anyway, so you're doing like 10,000 things. Like literally 10,000 things. You got like 17 IG accounts. You have, what is it, like 9 podcasts?
I have 2 podcasts.
You guys are cranking those things out though, especially TikTok. You guys are cranking them out.
Weekly. Yeah, so those we release weekly. Right Face podcast. I'm on hiatus for that one. But I mean, I interview people as I like. If I'm inspired to do an episode on a veteran, and then I'll do.
Yeah. Plus, we're kind of
but mine is also very niche. I share the stories of military veteran creatives. So that's a little more niche than just the average, like interview anyone who's in service. But so TikTok and Mimosas, we release them weekly. And, I always think like, wow, we've done a lot of episodes. We've gone almost a full year straight.
You guys record them in like, you guys sit together for like a day and bang out like 3 or 4 of them? Because they're only like 30 minutes long.
Yeah, most of the time we do 2 episodes at a time.
I thought so, because I listened to 2 of them in a row and I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like they just carried on.
Yeah. So we're actually going to be doing 4 in one day coming up pretty soon here to cover us for the whole month of August, which it's going to be a stretch because we've never done that many episodes in one day, but I'm also excited because we have some really cool guests that are going to come on to talk to us about various topics, So yeah,
I love it because you guys seem to have whatever the fuck topic you want to have. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? And it works too. Like I've kind of got a theme going here, but like, I'm not pushing.
Yeah, we talk about everything from fetishes to felines over mimosas.
Over mimosas, and you have a sponsor.
And we just started kind of exploring the talk about everything part, because mostly it's dating and relationships related.
Right.
We're releasing an episode, about BDSM and where we fall on the BDSM spectrum. We took this test. Yeah, it's just stuff like that.
I can't wait to hear that one.
How to spot a narcissist.
I heard that one. Well, I don't need any lessons on how to spot a narcissist.
That one was eye-opening, but also,
I actually wanted that one to go longer. I was like, keep going. Don't stop.
We can do a follow-up to it if you have a particular question or anything like that. We always love hearing listener questions. We get ideas that we've never heard of before. So, yeah.
Okay, so you're doing all this shit.
Yeah.
And you're auditioning for things. You're running your own production company.
Yeah.
And then so this is how I knew I made the right choice. You emailed me and you're like, hey, or you messaged me, you're like, hey, can you email all this to me? It's how I keep track. I was like, she's busy as fuck. That's how I know.
Oh my God.
It's because you don't have to, it doesn't have to live in here. It's there. And that's probably your hub. Your central hub is your email.
Yeah, it is. If someone is serious with an inquiry, they'll email me. The DMs are great for like an initial introduction, but like, let's move it over to Gmail for now.
Right. Well, probably you get the notifications. It's separate. It's not in the same app, and you've got 17 million things going on in IG.
Yeah.
Like you probably don't even have notifications turned on. Like it must be ridiculous. And so I
do have them turned on actually, which is I try to keep my email at 0. I don't like to. I mean, of course, I don't really delete emails, but I don't like to have like 168 unread emails and 23 missed calls and like, it just makes my brain explode. So anytime I get a notification, I'm like, okay, this is important. I could have a whole filing system
Even
in
on
my
IG,
head.
not on IG. You have those turned off, right?
Not on IG, but for Gmail. And, I have a lot of lists on my iPhone. We have episode ideas for episodes, hashtags. I mean, all kinds of stuff on my phone.
I mean,
So,
even just,
yeah.
I hate to bring it, I hate to keep circling back to IG, but like, it just seems to me that was one of the biggest things that I noticed. I was like, man, how do people do that? How do you carry on with your day, try to get all the shit you have to get done? Like, you have to make money. So that's probably one of the number one things. Number two is like all the things that you really want to do. But then like, you're kind of trying to transition into making your money maker into the thing that you really want to do, so it doesn't feel like work, which is what I'm doing. I'm trying to do this. I would love to do this every day.
Right.
But like, part of that is getting on social media and like creating content and sometimes editing content. Like that thing that I posted yesterday on my story took me like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to create that thing in my app on my computer. And then I had to like move it over to Drive and like upload it onto IG and then post it. Like, fuck, that's a lot of work just for that.
The thing that I reposted?
Yeah.
That was really good. I really like that.
I dabble.
I don't even know how to make those.
Dude, I dabble in graphic design.
I don't even know how to make those.
It's easy.
I'm glad you posted it so that I could repost. I'm still learning too. I follow a lot of really talented content creators who also happen to be veterans. Freedom and Floors is great. Waits and Freedom, who is a Marine Corps veteran. She does content all the time. And I'm just like mind blown. Like you're on TikTok, so to get on TikTok for a long time. And I finally got on it. And I'm not as prolific as I should be. But
I think you're hilarious.
Janae Sergio. She is a business owner and a Navy veteran. I mean, she does content every day. I mean, I'm like trying to keep up, but I'm learning so much just watching. And so I'm still getting there. But it is kind of a necessary evil to market yourself, especially in this kind of business that I'm in, film and TV. You really have to have an online presence.
Is TikTok worth it?
I think it is, because it's a whole other generation that's on TikTok. You have social media speaking, you have Facebook is more older and right-leaning. Instagram is younger and more left-leaning. And TikTok is very young. It skews very young. So, depending on what you're selling, so to speak, or marketing, there is a valid audience there. And if you post something on TikTok and it goes viral, it can go viral on Instagram. And that could be like not the breakout role, but that could really explode a business.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone sees you do a TikTok of you acting and they love it, and maybe they'll keep you in mind for a movie. Or if you're selling something and they see you wearing it in a TikTok that goes viral, you'll sell out. So there's definitely a market there. I'm not as prolific as I probably should be, but there is definitely a market there.
Oh my God, maybe I should do it. I don't know.
I mean, maybe, you could post little clips of some interviews. Maybe if I say something particularly hilarious. I say something particularly hilarious. I was going to say,
the pressure's on. Now I got to
come up with a banger,
You got an hour and a half. Crank it out.
I got to get my cats over here. Like, they're hilarious.
But like, I just imagine like you're like, I see all these posts, like you're not just running yours, you're running TikTok and Right Face. I haven't seen a whole lot of Right Face stuff lately, but like you said, you're on a hiatus, but still between TikTok and your personal one. And sometimes I think I see your cat one a lot too.
I post a lot more of that because they're just so cute.
Well, they're just there, right? Like that's an easy target.
It's an easy target, yeah.
But for like TikTok, you guys take pictures, and so it's like there's content that needs to be actually created for that. I just imagine like how much of your time is spent creating these things and posting them. How do you manage like, okay, I have to step away from IG for 5 hours so that I can crank out this audition tape, or I have to go do this thing. Like, how do you manage that?
Yeah. So yesterday was an a test for me. It was a stretch for me because I had 4 scripts to read and I got this audition notice. So I got to memorize 6 pages of dialogue and have it submitted by midnight last night. And so I had to get a reader who could hop on Zoom to be the reader in the scene with me, and they weren't available till 9:30 p.m. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to spend 45 minutes memorizing lines. I'm going to spend an hour reading a script, and then I'm going to do this self-tape, and then I'm going to spend another 2 hours reading another script, and it's 1:30 a.m. So I'm going to go to bed and get up and read the last 3 scripts. And it's just like, it's a lot sometimes.
And all those scripts had to be read in a certain amount of time.
Well, all the scripts had to be read by today. That was my deadline. So, because I have a meeting at 7 that I get to, a creative meeting.
Oh, so these are scripts for Right Face.
These particular scripts are for my theater company that is called Loft Ensemble. I'm a board member and I'm on the artistic committee. That's a whole other thing. Yeah, it's.
Well, you're not just part of running the show, but you're actually in the stuff, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been in one of those shows in a couple of years. I mean, we won't really count last year. That was just a lost year.
Right.
But 2019 was the last time I was in a theater show. But I'm very involved. We put out a lot of great plays, and we just reopened last month with all the restrictions.
Right. I saw some posts about it.
Sort of back in place. People have to wear masks in the theater, but we still have plays going on every weekend. And so we get to read scripts and decide the next season of shows. And we got 200 submissions. And that was before the pandemic. And so during the pandemic, of course, people were writing a lot. And so we got even more submissions. And so the whole artistic committee is, really cranking out these scripts to get them finished reading. And
you got to decide what you're going to do.
You got to decide what we're going to do. Yeah. So, and then of course, for Right Face Productions, we just put out a call for finished horror screenplays because we want to do a horror film next. And so we're trying to find a kind of campy cabin in the woods type vibe, one location if possible. So we've been getting a lot of submissions for that the last few days, and that's going to be more that I get to read, which I'm excited to do. It's just juggling,
Oh my God.
And it's a lot of fun. It's busy, but fun.
So how many, you can tell me to shut the fuck up and kick rocks, but how many of these things are actually money makers for you?
As far as films?
Any of the stuff that you're doing.
Oh, well, TikTok and Mimosas actually does generate some revenue because we have a Patreon, and so people subscribe and they get, exclusive content and early access to episodes and
more content to make.
All that. Yeah. So we split that between myself and the 2 other hosts, and so that's that's pretty cool. And I'm setting the intention that Right Face Productions will be revenue generating, once we get this film made and sold at some point in the future, but it's still in the early stages.
What's the path for that? You make the thing and then you sell it to someone who's going to distribute it? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, there are different methods, of course. Some people, sell it after it's made. Some people sell it before it's even made. Right. If they have name talent attached, say you have like Brad Pitt and, a big star in a movie, like someone's going to buy that before it's even made. Yeah. But in this case, we don't really have the funds to get Brad Pitt in a movie yet. So, we're gonna fund it his ourselves.
DMs. It worked for me.
Yeah. Hey, Brad. Good to meet you via Instagram. I'd like to offer you this role.
He doesn't even have an Instagram, does he?
I don't know. I don't really follow a lot of celebrities. I think I follow Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah,
and that might be the only celebrity I follow. Actually, I don't really follow a lot of I follow a lot of cats and dogs, though.
That's the one. That's the TikTok. That's the TikTok video that I'm going to post.
Right?
I follow celebrities. I follow a lot of cats and dogs.
Some cats have 2 million followers, and I'm over here like, wow.
Fucking grumpy cat, man.
I'm happy just to get the 10,000, so you can have a swipe up feature.
Is that how you do that?
And here they are with like brand deals galore.
You have to have 10,000 to have the swipe up feature?
You have to have 10,000.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So if you're selling something, again, if you're trying to sell something like merch, hey, swipe up and then you can buy it.
I would love to do merch, but
so
you know,
people really want that
I
feature.
gotta build this audience a little more.
Well, you're gonna. I believe in
Thank
you.
you.
You can do this.
I'm just gonna keep my nose to the grindstone and just keep pushing. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Sometimes I get a little frustrated and I get annoyed because I have a 40-hour-a-week day job.
What do you do? What's your
I
day
work
job?
at a we shall say a major military contractor.
Oh, okay. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we
All
build
right.
things for the military.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay.
My job is not fancy. In fact,
So you're busy AF, is what you're saying.
I work 40 hours a week, and
yeah.
but I sit at this desk because I've been working from home for like almost a year and a half now. I sit at this desk and I edit and write policies and procedures.
Oof. Is that your dream job? No.
No, not at all. This right here would be this is one of my dream jobs. I would love to do this all day.
I love that. I mean, you've got the whole setup.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I did during the pandemic. Excuse my ugly door back here.
What's wrong with your door?
Oh, it's gross. Look at it. Like this ugly, shellacked 1950s sliding door.
Oh, it is a sliding door. Wow. That is like old school. I love it.
Goes straight to the kitchen. It gets stuck, you know?
It could be worse though. You could have like shag carpet in your bathroom. Like I lived in a house once for a few months and they had shag carpeting in the bathroom because it was like the grandmother's house, you know, not my grandmother, but like the guy's grandmother's house and he was renting it and the toilet overflowed.
Oh no.
Onto the shag carpeting and my life I nearly unalived myself. It was so
there's padding underneath there. It gets all soaked and moldy and mildewy.
Oh God! I mean, you can't come back from
no,
that.
you can't. My bath.
Don't ever
bathtub
put shag carpeting in your bathroom.
I have a pink bathtub.
You have a pink bathtub? That's kind of cool.
It's retro. I'm telling you, this house was built in 1955. So it's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat little house. But yes,
I love the 40s and 50s aesthetic. Tell me more.
Mid-century modern all over this place.
I should probably talk a little bit about the pinups for vets then.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
I think that's how I discovered you. I was scrolling through Facebook one day, and pinups for vets just kept showing up, and I was like, "This is so fucking cool!" And so I started following, and then I don't remember how I actually ended up following you. I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but social media kismet.
Yeah. Well, then I messaged you one day because I went I didn't message you. I posted on one of your posts because you had done that picture of you on the set of Tenet. I was like, holy shit, I just went and saw that movie. I thought that was you.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. I still have people reaching out every few weeks or months. I'm like, hey, is this you? I'm like, yeah, it's me. Yeah, thanks.
I remember sitting in the theater going, holy shit. I was like, I'm pretty sure. Wait a minute. And I pulled my phone out like an asshole. And I was like, that is her.
That was a fun shoot. It was challenging, but fun. Yeah, we were out in the desert for 3 weeks and it was hot AF. I mean, I don't want the Brovets to get mad, but it kind of felt like a deployment in a way. I mean, I've been deployed, of course, but like the heat, being around so many other veterans and being in uniform, kind of, you know,
hurry up and wait, probably.
Is
probably
what?
A lot of hurry up and wait.
Well, there was a lot of hurry up and wait. We would, you know, have to sometimes take a nap under with using some rock as a pillow because we were just waiting for the shot. And we had to wear gas masks for basically the whole shoot. And, you know, like I said, it was like hot AF. There were like fake explosions going on for the special effects, which were awesome. And we, you know, of course, had battle rattle all over us and learning how to run backwards, which is interesting.
You didn't have plates in those things, did you?
No.
No way. No. I would dump those things so fast. I'd be like, why am I wearing plates?
God.
Why would I wear plates? This is dumb.
it was intense. We were at one point with the stunt crew running out of this Chinook just over and over again, over and over again. And
awesome.
I tell you, a lot of people fell out, and some like got injured and had to be sent home. I mean, it was intense. It was intense. So I'm just thankful that I, made it the whole shoot and made the final cut. I mean, I'm just thankful.
Holy moly.
It was
so cool. Anyway, Peanuts for Vets. How'd you get hooked up with them?
Yeah. So about 2015, I met Gina Elise, who is the founder of Pinups for Vets. And she is a patriotic civilian. Her grandfather served in World War II. And so she created Pinups for Vets as a way to give back to veterans, to say thank you for your service. And a few of my friends, my veteran friends, were involved with Pinups for Vets. And so they introduced me to Gina. And she asked if I wanted to be in the 2016 calendar, which was the 10-year anniversary calendar.
That was
and
the
of course I said
anniversary
yes.
calendar?
Yeah, the 2016 calendar was their 10-year anniversary. Yeah. Gina's been doing this a while, and now we're going into our 15th anniversary.
Wow.
And so I was Miss March 2016, and it was great because, being in the Marine Corps for 10 years, you wear the same thing every day. Right. You don't really get a chance to be super feminine. I didn't play dress up like that when I was on active duty. I certainly never wore pinup style dresses. Right. But I always had an appreciation for it because I grew up watching I Love Lucy, and I loved that style, So they kind of taught me how to do it. They taught me how to be a pinup.
Cool.
And
you got to learn how to do the poses too. Like there's specific kinds of poses that you're supposed to do. And like, it's no joke. Like, there's a whole art to it. Like you have to know what you're doing.
It really is. It's a whole different type of modeling. And Gina is she's a true pinup. She knows all of the different poses, and she is so gracious when she coaches. She's right there with you, helping you through it. And, because a lot of, the pinups have no modeling experience. Right. I certainly didn't. And so she was just really great. She was there from start to finish. She's on every photo shoot, overseeing things, making sure that it fits the brand and that, it's the aesthetic. Yeah. And she just makes us all feel so beautiful.
Dude, that's so badass. And every single model, right, is a vet on some level, or they're not still active duty, are they?
No, so they're veterans. They're all veterans. They're all no longer on active duty.
I would imagine that'd be some sort of weird conflict.
Affiliated, but yeah, she used to have a specific page just for like her civilian ambassadors, but every calendar is different. So one year she had male veterans, as cameos in like a couple of the photos with the female veterans. So she had, Max Uriarte of Terminal Lance. And she had Terminal Lance as one of, in one of the photos.
That's so dope.
It was really cool. And it's every branch, every service. There's so many talented and intelligent, veterans that have been featured in the calendar. This one that's coming out next year, 2022, in my opinion, is going to be probably the best one. I say that every year, though. But we just photographed it at this beautiful mansion.
Oh yeah, I think I saw some pictures of that.
Yeah, in Redlands, California, at the Kimberly Crest Mansion, and it's just so beautiful. And the models, the veterans, just they really turned out nicely, and I can't wait for everyone to see it.
God, so wait, how are you involved still? Are you still just modeling, or are you involved more now?
So I'm an ambassador. So on that particular shoot, I was a production assistant. So I worked behind the scenes with all of the veterans, and I helped things just run smoothly. Gina does, of course, most of the heavy lifting. She does everything. She coordinates everything. I just show up on the day and help her keep, sanity a little bit.
Take the load off her a little bit.
But so she does all that. She it's really like producing a movie in a way. I mean, she puts in all of this work months prior to the actual photo
Everything's
shoot.
got to be set up.
And now we're in post-production. So, the calendar is being designed right now, and it's going to go to the printer probably in the next couple weeks, and then people can do pre-orders.
Shit.
It's really a big deal. And the beautiful part about it, and should be mentioned, is that the proceeds from the calendar go back to the veterans. So we donate rehab equipment to the VA hospitals. To date, over $60,000 worth of rehab equipment has been donated to VA hospitals. Pre-COVID, and hopefully soon post-COVID. We did hospital visits.
Right.
We would take the calendars and give them to the veterans as a thank you. And they were gifts to the veterans. And of course, we would do the care packages to the deployed troops. I was going to say,
you guys also send them overseas.
Yeah, and they're always so appreciative. They send us photos of themselves holding the calendars and letters of thanks. Cool. And it's really heartwarming to be connected to, the military veteran community still, even though I'm no longer on active duty. It feels good to give back.
I mean, you're always part of the family, especially as a Marine. Holy shit. Come on.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet you cook some mean crayons.
I do, actually. My crayon quesadillas are clutch.
Wow, I can't. I would love to try them.
And if anyone wants to support Pinups for Vets, they can go to pinupsforvets.com. And of course, on Instagram, it's Pinups for Vets.
Dude, you're going to have to email me all the links and things.
Yeah, I will.
I'm going to put the show notes. Be prepared, everyone. The show notes are going to be so fucking long with all of your shit.
I mean, sorry, not
Wait,
sorry.
What else? What else? There's more. I know there's more. You're hiding something. Come on. There's something else that we're missing here.
You haven't seen my cats yet. I mean, they haven't made an appearance yet. I'm gonna have to go drag
Did you
them out
monetize the cats yet? Come on. You
What's
gotta
that?
monetize the cats.
I do. I wish. They don't have as many followers as I would like, but it's really just for me. I mean, I just like posting pictures and videos of my babies.
Okay, so
I don't care if they stay at what follower count they are now. I don't care. I'm not really trying to grow their
So here's the
follower
$1 million question. How then, with all this stuff that's going on, do you feel the need to get away from it at some point and just fucking unplug? I mean, I guess you just went to Greece, right? That must have been part of it.
Yeah.
Just to get the fuck away, right? Step aside and just
absolutely.
So is that what it is? I gotta just take a break and then you're back at the grind, and then there's gotta be something like daily or weekly that you're doing to just. Are you sitting down and meditating?
I really should meditate. I wish.
Well, everybody should, right?
I really don't. I did for a hot minute, a year and a half ago. And anyway, so aside from going to Greece, which I highly recommend everyone plan some type of trip away, whether that's a staycation in your home state or leaving the country altogether. For a few days, highly recommended. I went with my friend Adrienne to Greece. She's a Navy veteran.
Sweet.
She's also, I should probably give her a plug too, because she runs her own company called Clio Studio that it produces software for filmmakers.
Oh, I heard that episode.
Yeah.
That sounded so fucking cool. I was like, that's so genius.
Yep. Clio Studio, it's Cleo with a K.
But she's also an actor.
We worked together on Tenet, actually. We were out in the desert for 3 weeks, and of course we knew each other before that, but we got really close during that. It was like a deployment. It's like you get really close with the other woman veteran who is there while you're,
Was there only there was more than one, right?
There was more, but she and I were the besties. We were the besties on set. And that's where I met Savannah of Weights and Freedom. Wow. And met some other, that's how I met Savannah. She was also in that movie too.
Moly. Okay, so you go to Greece. What?
Yeah. So Greece is something that I've been wanting to go to Greece for over 3 years, and I've been waiting. And I talk about this on one of my Dig Talk and Mimosas podcasts. The reason I waited so long is because I was like, well, I want to wait for the perfect romantic partner to go with. And I kept waiting and waiting. And I thought I met someone, and then we broke up. We were supposed to go to Greece together, and then we broke up.
Oh, no. Did you already buy the tickets?
No, but I had the dates in my calendar of when I was going to go.
That's as good as permanent right there.
I mean, right. In my case, if it's in the calendar, it's happening.
That's what I'm saying.
I live and die by my calendar. Yeah. So I broke up with this person, but I really wanted to go to Greece. And I'm like, fuck it. Let me just go with a friend. So I asked Adrienne. She was on board right away. We got the tickets. We got the Airbnbs. We got the ferries. We had to take ferries from the island to island.
Sweet.
And it was the best vacation. It was awesome. And I highly recommend everyone just go. Go with a friend. Go. You could go by yourself. I'm not really comfortable traveling by myself, but it's a thing that can happen.
About it. I would love to go over to Europe on my own. Hit up the UK and Scotland and Ireland and Spain.
Yeah.
And I would love to do that. And I'm like, who would I go with? And I go, I don't have anybody. Maybe I'll just go by myself.
Just go. I mean, you're the only one holding you back is you.
Well, and the kids. So it's gotta I gotta figure out when I can make that happen.
Yeah. I had a friend text me recently, oh, your Greece trip looks so fun. I'm like, well, why don't you go? Take your wife. And he's like, well, we have kids, and I'm like,
kids ruin everything. I don't.
And it just reminds me of why I don't want children.
Do it. I mean, don't do it. Seriously, don't do it. I love my children.
I'm so glad to be childless.
I'm quite jealous of that. I do. I love my children. They're the shit. They're hilarious. They're becoming amazing little humans. But man, it's a lot. It gets in the way, and that's a big reason why I started this podcast, because I was going through the divorce at the time, and I had the kids, and I was in the Navy Reserve, and I was working, and I was going to school, and I was like, fuck. I need to talk about this. And I started going, I saw a therapist and all that stuff. And I thought, I can't be the only one out here who's busting his ass and forgetting who he is because he's taking care of everybody else except for himself.
Oh, yeah.
So don't have kids.
It just adds
a whole layer of complexity that you don't need.
It really does. And, kudos to those who can manage it all. I cannot imagine the coordination and just the sheer responsibility one needs to have.
That's why I got out of the Navy.
Juggle.
That's why I fully got out of the Navy, because I was like, man, I'm in the reserves. I'm about to be a single father. I can't just go away for 2 weeks. I mean, I could, but who am I going to leave him with? I'm in Connecticut by myself, nobody here. My ex is here, but my parents aren't here. My parents are in Texas.
No grandparents.
No, my parents are in Texas.
Oh, what part? Damn. Oh, because that's what grandparents were made for, is taking care of the grandkids.
Which is a big reason why I want to go back. It's I want to go be with my family and have my kids be close to my family and have an income tax-free state to live in.
When I was 12 or 13, no, I must have been 10. My parents went to London, and they just left me and my brother with the grandparents for I don't know, a couple weeks, and I had the best time. Grandparents are the best. They make the best sandwiches, the best hot chocolate. They let you watch cartoons all day. I mean, I was living pretty for that summer.
I mean, I could do that, but then I'd have to fly my kids to Texas so that I could fly across the pond.
I know. Oh, that's so hard. I wish you could rent a grandma,
So oddly enough, my old landlord,
that's a business idea, actually.
My old landlord lives down the street from me, and she has the same last name as me. So it's
really,
she's kind of like grandmother by proxy,
Oh.
She's actually she was the emergency contact for my kids when they were before I got divorced. Just because she has the same last name, she could go pick them up from school, and it's not a problem. Nobody would question it.
It's Howard. Oh, okay. Here are your kids.
Here you go.
Well, I wish for travel in your future.
Thanks.
You deserve it. Everyone, I mean, not everyone deserves it, but you deserve it.
I'm trying. Well, so my personal goal right now is I have to just keep pushing with this podcast and keep keep getting better and better and better. I like to think I'm pretty decent at doing this. It's just about doing it more regularly, you know. And the hardest part for me is my show is dependent on guests. So if I can't find somebody, or somebody cancels last minute, or it's like, fuck. Like I did an AMA one week because I didn't have a guest, and I was like,
no.
well, I have to be on.
Did they cancel on you?
Yeah, I've had somebody cancel before.
Oh no.
Or just like people, I can't find somebody to book. So that's why I was like, dude, if you have anybody that you know, just send their name my way.
I'll send names your way. I mean, I've already mentioned a few in the podcast that I think would be amazing to interview. I mean, they're just kicking ass and taking names.
Exactly.
I mean, Rochelle has her own nonprofit organization that is amazing, and it helps veterans. I mean, you should interview her.
Yeah.
So,
see?
Yeah.
Find some more people. So aside from just taking a chunk of time away, there's got to be something. Like, you get frustrated, obviously, throughout the week or throughout the month or by the hour, maybe. Like, I get frustrated by the hour. Sometimes it's an hour, and then 2 hours later I'm fine. But like, there has to be something. Like for me, obviously the podcast is something I do, but I only do that every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Daily though, I think what I'm doing now, not necessarily daily, but there's always something in my house that needs to be fixed. And that's kind of a meditation for me. But also like woodworking. I'll get out in the garage and I'll make something.
There you go. That's so cool.
So do you have anything that you do just to kind of like recenter yourself when something gets crazy and you're like, what hold on a second.
Well, it's not so much a daily thing, although I probably should, incorporate.
Everybody should, but that's life, right?
But, like I'll take some time to go to a movie, or like I saw a double feature the other day on Saturday. I just spent the whole day watching movies.
Sweet.
And I saw the Black Widow movie.
How was that?
And I liked it.
All right.
I thought it was cool. And I saw Old, the new M. Night Shyamalan film.
So wait a minute. I've heard mixed reviews about this one.
I've heard mixed reviews too. I liked it.
Did you?
I liked it.
Did you really? I heard it was people were saying like, if you just hang out at the beach, you're gonna get old. And I'm like, well, I think I saw a meme. It was like, well, you kind of already do that.
I posted that yesterday. If you go to the beach, you'll get old.
Was that you that was posting that?
Yeah, you gotta wear SPF.
Yeah, it's 100% true.
SPF. No, but I thought it was cool. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I just love films that have to do with time or time bending in any way.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. It was everything I expected. And so I would recommend going to see it,
Right.
I thought it was cool.
Maybe I'll do that, when I have a spare evening. I'll go by myself, check out the movie.
Go check it out. Yeah, it's PG-13. It's not like a super gory film,
I mean, I'll watch whatever.
Yeah, go for it. But spending quality time with loved ones and friends and going out to eat. I went to this like Benihana type place.
Sweet.
The other day, and just watching them cook food, like that was the best. I just love watching them.
so essentially essentially if you can just set aside whatever it is you're doing and do something that takes your mind off of it, essentially. There's no specific like go-to task or go-to like what's the word I'm looking for? Strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
there's no real strategy. I mean, sometimes I'll just like take a few minutes to cuddle with my cats, like
and then take a selfie.
It can be really. There's one over here. I just want to like scoop him up so bad, but he's like licking himself clean, and I'm like, oh, I might wait for you to be done.
Let him have his day. Let him have his moment.
Yeah, I think whatever a person decides to do for self-care, as long as they're taking that time for self-care, it's so important, because I've been burned out before. I've experienced other people getting burned out, and you can just see that, it's like their spirit starts to go away,
right. and their work goes down. Like they're not as creative anymore. They're just not as, they don't want to work as hard. They get burnt out.
Yeah, I mean, if you moved like to LA, for instance, to do music, but you work at, I don't know, like a Home Depot for a living, and you don't practice music because you're so burned out, you got to find that balance. You got to take a job that allows you the time to be creative, because otherwise, why are you here?
Right, 100%. That's actually part of the reason why. That's another reason why I got out of that active duty. As you know, when you're active duty, you work when they tell you to work. Like there's no set hours. There's no set schedule. There's always that threat looming over your head. That phone's gonna ring. I'm gonna get a text message. I'm gonna have to fucking show up at work at 3 o'clock in the morning for something stupid, and be there all day, So like, yeah, that was another reason why I got out, because now I have this job that is a set schedule, 40 hours a week. When I hit 40 hours, I'm done. I don't think about work. I don't nothing.
Right.
And so I was like, perfect. Now that I have that and it's predictable and it's paying the bills, now I can do the shit that I really want to do, which is like this.
That's really important. Yeah. That consistency.
But you're right. You have to carve it out.
Exactly. You got to make the time. And I mean, similarly to you, that's one reason I got out of the Marines is at 10 years.
Yeah.
People are like, well, why don't you just do 20 and retire?
Yeah,
well,
10 years. You took a lot of shit. I took shit for getting out at 8.
Retired, yeah, I would have been 39 starting over in a new industry in Los Angeles versus, when I got out at 29. And I've had these years to, develop my network and do some amazing projects and have experiences I never would have had if I had stayed in the military. So, yeah, I just decided to follow my gut.
Yeah, I bet it was hard. It was hard for me after 8. People were like, "Oh, dude, you're like halfway there. Just fucking crank it out for the other, and you'll get that sweet retirement." I'm like, I don't know, man. By the time I'm retired, I joined when I was 26, 27. So I would have been like 40, pushing 50, trying to find a new job. Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, I knew people that got out of the Marine Corps after 16 years, which is a little more insane than 10. But hey, if you're called to do something else and, you're not married to the idea of receiving a retirement pension, then, the sky's the limit. I was okay with giving that up because I knew what I would be getting in return would be tenfold, in experience, not just like monetarily, but experiences.
Yeah. Exactly. So how was it in the Marine Corps? Like, were you busy as fuck? And you were younger too, so it was like easier to just right?
Yeah, deployment was, it was challenging because we didn't get like a day off, of course. I mean, you don't have days off. On Christmas, you're working 12, 16 hours
a day. Especially as a journalist, right?
Yeah. We were constantly, if I wasn't assigning stories to my junior Marines, I was out there on a convoy mission or, taking a helo trip to a forward operating base and covering a story on a bridge emplacement or then building a road or, so constantly out and about. And it definitely was busy out there.
Holy moly. What do you do? What do you do to decompress?
Honestly, when I would get back to the rear, I would just watch DVDs on my laptop in my rack. That's what I did. And they were, DVDs that I would purchase at a local bazaar that were
bootleg, probably
not necessarily originals.
Yeah.
They were pirated DVDs, and they sell those over there.
Do what you got to do.
So yeah, I would just watch a ton of movies, and they had this tent with phones and computers, but it was a long wait and long line just to make a 20-minute phone call. Right. So I would do that as much as I could, but it's frustrating waiting in line and just you only get 20 minutes. I waited in line once and I overheard this Marine talking to his partner, and they were basically breaking up over the 20-minute. Like apparently she was seeing someone else, and it was just this dramatic conversation he was having in this room full of Marines. I was like, "Bud, that is rough. I'm sorry.
That's brutal.
That's brutal. That sucks."
I mean, when you think about it, though, how else was she going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that she did it over the
right?
phone and
Could have been
not
an
like a
email.
dear John letter, like, "Hey, I'm going out with Jody
Yeah,
now."
exactly. I was like, fucking Jody, man.
But yeah, so yeah, it was rough, but we made it through, and definitely teaches you a lot about what you're made of, and it really gives you a perspective on the things that you take for granted in everyday life, like hot showers, for instance,
Oh,
and being able to like text your loved ones. You can't have a cell phone over
no.
there. So just being able to communicate with loved
How many
ones when
deployments
you
did you
want.
do?
Just
Just the
one
one?
to Afghanistan for one
For
year.
a whole
Mm-hmm.
year?
Yeah, it was a rough year, but
Uh,
yeah. Ooh. Uh, so yeah, I'm glad I did it. I had definitely been wanting to deploy because at that point I had been in for 8 years and I had never been at a deployable duty station until I got to Camp Pendleton,
right.
California.
It's kind of a badge of
So
honor. Yeah, I got to.
I was really ready to go to deploy, and I'm glad I did it. It makes me feel like a more well-rounded veteran.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
everyone's service is valid. It doesn't matter if you did or didn't deploy, but I'm glad I did
I
personally.
definitely did deploy.
That's cool.
That that changed your outlook on me?
No, not at all.
I
No.
was not a
Hey,
typical Navy person. Like I did not.
you serve your country. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I did not get assigned to a ship. In
Hmm.
fact, almost as soon as I was out of boot camp, they switched me out of the blue camo and they put me in green camo, and they sent me to
Really?
Ohio. Because Ohio, because Toledo. That's where I
Hmm.
was. I was working at a NOSC in Toledo.
Yeah.
Well, not I wasn't technically at a NOSC. It was we shared the same building. I was at a Maritime Expeditionary Security Squadron.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I showed up and they gave me Woodlands, and they were like, "Here you go. This is your uniform now." And I was like, "What?" And then and then
Hmm.
and then I got stationed in Newport, Rhode Island,
Hmm.
with the same type of command, and we switched over to the Type 3, which is what the Navy's wearing now. And
Yeah.
then they merged us with the Riverines, and then they sent me down here to Connecticut to make sure that submarines can come and go without getting fucked with.
Mm.
That's it.
Oh shit.
That's it.
That's cool though. I mean, like I said, I was 8 years before I even had the opportunity to. I mean, the first 3 years were editing a newspaper at Parris Island, South Carolina. You can't really deploy from
No.
there. And Washington D.C. for 2 years. That's not
Sick.
deployable,
Sick though.
it was cool. Yeah, Washington D.C. was cool. And Syracuse, New York, they sent me to this journalism program at Syracuse University for 1 year while I was on active
And they paid for
duty.
that shit.
They paid for it, and I got to wear civvies every day because I was going to class every day.
What?
It was awesome. I earned 30 college credits. It's really where I gained my appreciation for continued education. So when
Oh.
I got out, I decided like let's finish this
Gotta use that
degree.
GI Bill.
Yep, use the GI Bill. And then finally, Camp Pendleton, of course, was my last duty station. So I'm really grateful I got to extend my contract by 2 years because without that extension, I wouldn't have been able to deploy.
My God. Oh yeah, and without the
Yeah,
extent, had you not
I
extended,
had
you would
to,
have
I had
had
to
to done
extend.
2 years in the
Yeah,
reserves.
because Syracuse University, you had to have 3 years left on your contract in order to go to that school because they didn't want people going and graduating and then getting right out of the
Right.
military.
Right.
Which is like that's
Yeah.
smart. You should have a little insurance policy.
Yeah.
So I extended for 2 years, and the 8th year when I got to deploy.
Oh
So
my God. And you know what? This is another thing that I think a lot of people don't talk about, especially, well, maybe not a lot of people they don't talk about it, but a lot of people don't know or realize that the military teaches you a lot. People talk shit about the military, but man, in a lot of ways, if you're paying attention, if you're in and you're paying attention, they'll teach you how to grow up.
absolutely, you learn so many intangible skills. I mean, you meet a even a PFC, in charge of, I don't know, a unit, but they have so much responsibility at age 18 and
Yeah.
19 than most 19-year-olds
Yeah.
have who are just going into college or taking a gap year or
Yeah.
whatever. I would put my life in the hands of the right PFC with the right experience and the right leadership skills.
Tell me about it. Dude, I showed up at my last command here in Connecticut. And like I said, small boat, 34 feet long, lots of firepower, which is so fun. But like, we had 4 to 5-ish people on each boat, 4 to 5 person boat teams. And you would show up at the command, you would get all your qualifications, and one of the higher qualifications was coxswain, and which is the guy who essentially is in charge of the boat. And we had E5s that were coxswain qualified that had weapons release authority. E5s.
Are you serious?
Yeah, E5s.
Wow.
E5s.
Okay.
That's part of the qualification. Like, they have to have that. They have to be able to make that decision. And if they get the qualifications and they pass all the boards and they talk to the skipper and he gives them the A-OK, the stamp of approval, you've got a 26-year-old E5 who's able to tell you to pull that trigger. Like, holy shit. You know?
I mean, yeah, we place a lot of trust and confidence in our non-commissioned officers. And I mean, I place a lot of trust in corporals and sergeants. I mean, the sergeant rank, I mean, it's like the most coveted rank in the Marine Corps, aside from maybe gunnery sergeant. Yeah. I mean, when I hit sergeant, I was very, very, very proud.
You were like,
yeah. It was proud, yeah. And you know, you work really hard to attain that rank. So yeah, it means something.
Yeah. Well, and my point is, like, I think I've met a lot of people who are, they think about the military as like kind of a, well, I got nothing else to do, I might as well go do this thing and it'll pay the bills, and which is true. But if you're there and you pay attention and you work hard, you'll realize that they're going to teach you a lot of really good life skills that you're not going to get anywhere else. And you're going to get out and you're going to go, man, so many people are shitbags.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even little stuff like showing up 15 minutes prior to something. I mean, showing up on time, you'd be surprised, you know, how many people just don't show up. You know, they show up whenever they feel like it. And it's like, this is not okay, guys.
Like, I still don't call in sick. I don't call in sick to work. There is no calling in sick.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, you should, you know, utilize self-care when needed.
I know.
But
my coworkers are like, dude, this isn't the Navy. You have paid time off. You can use it. I'm like, that doesn't feel out. That doesn't feel right.
But yeah, stuff like that. Of course, the discipline. Like when I've done films with all veteran crews, film crews.
Amazing.
And
probably so efficient.
Yeah. It was so efficient. We had this it was like a 24-hour, or was it a 48-hour? It was a 48-hour competition where we had to write, shoot, and edit a short film in 48 hours. So I had an all-veteran crew, all-veteran cast. So we had, I don't know, 20 people involved, and you know, it was like clockwork. We had, we filmed, we filmed, you know, from darkness to sunrise, and then we spent the time editing, and then we got it done on time, and it turned out really well. And I just know that what I'm getting when I'm working with veterans. Of course, I've worked with some very talented civilians as well. Like, credit where credit is due. But there's just something about, you know, when someone says, "Oh, I was in the military," I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I know in my head they've got those intangible skills that I'm looking for in a crew member.
Yeah, there's probably like a 70 to 75% chance that they're not a shitbag. Right? Because there's
always that 10%.
There's some shitty military folks out there. There's some shitty vets.
There are. And usually the reputation precedes them. So I wouldn't work with them. I actually have a list of people to never work with. I won't go over the names for slander reasons.
You were talking about lists. You were talking about lists earlier.
For legal reasons, I will not say their names.
I was like, that makes sense.
But I have a literal list, and I take it very seriously. Like, yeah, if I hear you screwing over people or you're just not representing veterans well, I won't work with you.
That's good. That's smart. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's about reputation, right? It's about who you know, and it's about reputation, right?
It's really important. And one of the things that I learned when I moved here in 2014, I didn't know a soul. And I
by yourself
got connected. Yeah, I moved here, you know, by myself. I was in my last semester of college at UT Austin, and they had the semester in Los Angeles program. So I was out here for my last semester. I was interning, and, you know, I got my first job post film school out here, and I didn't know any veterans. I didn't know anybody really. And so I got connected with this group called Veterans in Media and Entertainment, or VME. And it's just all veterans who work in the industry. They work in film and television and gaming, whatever, you name it. So I got connected with this group, and they're the ones who helped me on my very first short film, which was mostly veterans on that film. That particular film was mostly veterans. Yeah. And they were so gracious to help this total stranger they didn't even know. And that film ended up getting top 10 out of 500 entries. And I know it's because I had such amazing, veteran crew supporting me, and we had amazing actors as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like pretty much out of the gate, really, you show up, you make some friends at this veteran community, and then it's just like start making waves.
Yeah, and veterans really love helping other veterans. And that's something I learned too is, I've just been very fortunate to cultivate this network of, veterans out here, and through VME as well as other nonprofits like Pinups for Vets, like Merging Vets and Players, which is another nonprofit, just been able to connect with people, and, we help each other out. If I need a sound mixer, I know I can go to that group and be like, hey, who's a sound mixer? And, I can work with another veteran.
Man, that's fantastic.
It's great.
I fucking love it.
Highly recommend.
Wait a minute. So is this the same group? I'm pretty sure I saw you with some credits on, oh man, what was that veteran news site? We Are the Mighty? Did you do that?
Oh yeah, We Are the Mighty. They're great. Yeah. I did some Today in Military History pieces for them a few years ago.
So fucking cool.
But yeah, there are a lot of veterans too. They're mostly veteran, I think. But they're great. And Coffee or Die magazine.
You worked with Coffee or Die?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to go to MOS school with a senior editor, Ethan Rocky. And he's very, very talented. He just wrote this great piece about the next Medal of Honor recipient.
Oh yeah, I saw that article. That was good.
Let me remind me later. Sorry, my computer was like, let me scan something, and I'm like, no,
not right now.
Yeah. So it's interesting how people I met in MOS school 20 years ago, I'm still connected with, and thankfully, through social media. I don't know what I would have done if we didn't have like Facebook and Instagram.
Oh my God, I know.
I wouldn't be able to stay connected with all these people.
No, there's no way. I mean,
and they've all done such amazing things in their careers. It's really lovely to watch.
Oh my God, that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, my dad keeps telling me, he's like, you need to move home. Because
really?
Black Rifle's based out of there. He's like, just find something to do with Black Rifle Coffee. I would love to do that.
If you need a connection, let me know.
I don't know what I would do for them, but hey, I could try. I could write some policies. Let's do that. Let's write some policies.
Hey, maybe they need a policy writer. I'm sure your resume would be quite impressive. Wink, wink.
Wink. I hope.
Wink.
That would be. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck. Trying to think. What else?
Yeah.
What else we got? You got anything? Got anything for me?
My cat is eating food right in front of me. I kind of want to steal him, but
steal him. Do it.
He's cute. Okay, hold on now. Okay, this is Louis.
Oh, yes, I know Louis.
Interrupted his dinner, but only for a minute because he's so cute.
He looks more floofy on video.
He looks like he's gonna murder you in your sleep,
really
but I swear he's very cuddly and sweet. Oh he just has these like murderous eyes.
Those eyes are enthralling.
Anyway, so yeah, this is Louis. Okay, I'll let him go now.
Man, all right, what's next? What else? What do you have coming up?
Okay, so
things that you can talk about.
Oh, this past Sunday, I was fortunate enough to be involved in a feature film as a day player, which is basically like I'm on for one day as a small role, and then that's it.
A talkie?
But it was in a feature.
Lines?
Yeah, had a couple lines.
That means you get your SAG card, right?
Actually, I am eligible to join the union. I haven't joined yet because, I mean, there's a whole list of reasons. A lot of commercials now are being shot non-union with non-union talent.
How do they do that? I thought that was like a rule. You have to do it that way.
No, so you can shoot non-union talent or a commercial, and a lot of commercials now are being shot non-union. So I'm staying non-union, but I am eligible to join. So if there is a project and it's one of those where I have to join the union, then I can.
Sweet.
But I'm still building up my credits, so I'm in no rush to join at this moment.
You got to pay dues too, don't you?
Yeah, so when you join, the initiation fee is $3,000. And then every year the dues are based on what you make in that calendar year. So it could be a few $100s, it could be a few thousand, but yeah.
And if you're Brad Pitt, it's probably a couple mil.
Yeah, I think there's a cap, actually. I think there's a cap on it.
Or they might just be like, you're Brad Pitt.
You pay a couple mil in dues.
They're like, you're Brad Pitt, we're not going to take your card.
Yeah, I don't think they want to take his card.
He's probably dink on all his dues.
Yeah, I have a friend who I went to acting school with, who I work with on different projects. His name is Alejandro Lopez, and I call him Alex for short. And
does he like it? Does he allow you to call him Alex, or are you the only?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's his preference. That's his preference.
All right.
So yeah, he and I are going to be working on this horror film together, and so I'm hoping we find a really cool horror script. It would be nice to go into production around Halloween, so we could use all of the Halloween decorations that are already up. But we'll see. We'll see.
It'll be fine. It'll work out. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I have to do. I have to tell myself a lot when I get stressed. I have to remember, like, okay, shit's going to happen when it happens, and I can't force things to happen when they don't want to happen. Calms me down.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. It really is true.
I'll tell you, that's one of the good things about about having kids is that they force you to calm your shit. Because I'm not going to take it out. I mean, I can't take it out on my kids.
I can only imagine. I only have cats, so.
Yeah. Like, you just pretend you probably already do, right? Your cats are your kids. You can't take your shit out on your cats.
Oh, they are my children. I mean, they're my babies. Yeah.
Now, I don't have an Instagram account for my kids, so.
But do you have cats?
I do not. So I had 2 cats when my ex was still living here. And she did take them with her when she left, which was, I was okay with that because I didn't grow up with cats. So, I mean, I liked the cats and we got along and everything was fine. But for some reason, it's easier for me to walk a dog than it is to remember to clean a cat box. Is that crazy?
It is, yes.
Okay. I thought it was.
I dog sat once for a friend of mine, and it was a very cute dog, like a tiny thing. And he gave me this special type of dog food that was like almost like a pate consistency. And apparently the dog food that he gave me was like spoiled or something. And the dog spent 2 days, like, shitting on my floor. And like, I was like, why is this dog like, I mean, I'm walking the dog every few hours. Like, he told me to, like, why is he sick? What is happening? I thought he just had the runs. And I guess, when he came to pick him up, he's like, oh, I guess the food was bad. Sorry. I'm like, great. So I was feeding your dog like poison, basically. I felt so bad. But that never happens to my cats. They eat, their food. And, of course, Louis has like a hairball, once a month. But
I mean, look at him. How could he not?
He's a long-haired cat. So, yeah, the litter box is so easy.
How many litter boxes do you have, though? You got like 2, right?
I have 1.
You only have 1?
They share.
I had 2. I had to have 2 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for 2 cats.
Yeah, no, they share.
Wow, that's even better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Couldn't do it. I like cats. If I had somebody living here with me and they 100% took care of my cats, that'd be fine. I'm for some reason I suck at it. I'm much more like, oh, 4:00, let's go for a walk. You know, like for some reason that's way easier for me than being like, oh shit, there's a box over there that has poop in it. I got to go clean that.
I'm definitely open to having a dog at one point in the future.
Dogs are the shit.
They're cool. I wouldn't want to have it like if I were, I don't know, like married and he wanted to get a dog. I'd be like, okay, I'm fine with that.
I'll
I
allow
think it'd be really cute. I think it'd be really cute to have like the cats and the dog, you know, and snuggling. And I'll post that to the Instagram. There's this one, okay, I have to bring up this Instagram account called Henry the Colorado Dog.
Henry?
And it's this dog and this cat that they go on adventures together outdoors, like hikes and stuff. And they have the cutest photos of them just snuggling.
What kind of dog is it?
And it's just, oh God, what kind of dog? I don't know.
Is it a big dog?
It is a big dog.
I like big dogs.
Yeah,
I'm a big dog guy.
Henry the Colorado Dog. Here, so there are two rescues exploring, following their noses and running free. It doesn't say what kind of dog it is, though.
Instagram.
I don't know, but it's super cute.
Henry.
It's super cute. But they're in Colorado, yeah.
Henry.
I mean, you can't really see, but like, look at this. Look how cute this is.
Oh my gosh.
Is this not like the most adorable thing you've ever seen?
Wait. What are they called again? Henry
the Colorado Dog.
Oh, wow. I just typed in Henry, and they are the third. It's Henry Cavill.
They have 2.1 million followers.
Jesus Christ.
And they're just the cutest thing. They have a nonprofit, the Henry and Baloo Foundation. How cute.
Of course they do.
But they just post the cutest things. And I would just love, not that I would ever have pets outdoors, but, you know, to have some snuggly dog and cat photos would be cute. You're going to spend like all night going through their
Look at this one with the rainbow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
Oh, wow. With the tongue.
Oh, yeah. For the viewers out there, look. This is like art. This is art.
You got me. All right. Done. Follow them.
Anyway. Yeah, I know.
I'm following. They got a blue check? I want a fucking blue check.
Instagram.
A couple of animals got a blue check?
They got it. They're verified. I can't even get verified.
You need like, how many followers do you need?
I
don't think there's an actual rule. I think I looked this up once. I think you have to be in danger of being like you know, like people pretending to be you.
Oh, so me basically.
Yeah, which I know. I was like, you always are posting those things of people fucking faking your shit. That's got to be fucking. How do you find out about that, by the way? People just tell you?
So I first noticed it. I think someone sent me a fake account. And they said, hey, this person is pretending to be you, I'm pretty sure, unless you are currently in Syria and there's something wrong with your family and you need money. I'm like, no, I'm not in Syria and I don't need money. So I looked at the account and then I looked for, I just do a search of my last name and I find a fake account at least once, if not twice a week. I have 90 accounts, fake accounts.
Wow.
Well, I found one today. That I posted, and she goes by the name Kelly Brofer, but they put the same bio, like the same Instagram bio, like Marine Corps veteran, filmmaker, cat mom, and it's like, why?
Did they link to the cat's page too?
Sometimes they'll put, they put like cat mom on there. They don't have a link to the Wally and Louie page, but. Yeah, so I have people coming to me saying, hey, there's a person on Facebook dating named Stacy who says that, you know, who's using your photos and they're pretending to be you. And they'll send me screenshots. And I'm like, what? I'm not even on a dating profile, first of all. And I'm not named Stacy. And there's this other one from like Austin, Texas. And it's like going by the name Monica.
Maybe you should just hit up Instagram and be like, hey, how do I
mean, I report the accounts, they do nothing. I say they're pretending to be me, they do nothing. So I just block the accounts because if they can't get new content, then at least they can't add to their
they can easily just create a new, you know what I mean?
And they
Yeah.
do, and they do. And that's why I do a search myself, like every week, to see if there's a new catfish out there pretending to be
Wow.
me.
That's a whole other
Very
problem. Like, how do
frustrating.
you even? You're probably used to it by now. You're probably just like, ugh, another one. Here we just fucking.
I mean, I'm used to it now. When it first started happening, I was like, what is happening? There were so many, and Facebook doesn't do anything. You type in my name and there's like a
Oh yeah,
dozen
Facebook
fake
doesn't give a
me's.
fuck.
They don't care at all because it doesn't go against the community
How
guidelines,
was that not?
which it really does, because they're catfishing people out of money
Yeah, usually.
and
Yeah,
scamming.
usually.
It's not right. So, I mean, I'm a little more entertained when they use my name and my bio, but they change the photo.
What?
Like, apparently this Kelly Brofer is like an Asian woman, but like it's obviously not, it's like a fake person. It's a fake Kelly Brofer. But like, that's not me. But most of the time they just straight up steal the photos that are mine, and then.
That's got to be. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, you know what though? That's how you know. That's how you know you're making it. You're doing something. Nobody's stealing my shit. They don't care.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing in disguise, though. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But yeah, it's interesting. And then I feel bad because the people think that they're talking to this real person, and then they find my real account to warn me. And then, most of the time, they're just like, just wanted to let you know there's this person out there. And then sometimes they try to continue the conversation, like, oh, I'm glad I found the real person. I'm like, no. And then thanks, have a good day, and then never
nice
talk
try,
to me again.
buddy.
Like, I'm not interested, buddy, but thank you for letting me know.
You're like, where are you at? Fucking Nebraska? No.
Yeah, it's crazy. Or people just DM with like, just the word hi.
That doesn't work. You have to say something.
It doesn't work. No, it doesn't. But they think it does. Like, I don't know, like, whose standards are so low that they would have responded just a hi.
I'm pretty sure I sent you a whole paragraph.
They're out there, I guess.
Here's this thing. I really want you to do it. I think this would be awesome. Like, it was probably a whole paragraph. Also, because I write for a living.
And it worked, obviously, because, like, it was in my request, and I was like, oh, that seems cool. Like, I like doing podcast interviews, and I like connecting with fellow veterans, and I like bacon.
How many of these things have you done?
I just like title more than just.
How many times have you been on a podcast that's not yours?
That's not mine. Maybe like a dozen. Not that much, actually. Yeah. My first one was last year during the pandemic, and it was, I think, a Navy veteran as well. That was my first podcast, and I mean, yeah, I don't do them that often. Other podcasts, but yeah, I mean, if someone asks me to do it and I have the time, of course I'll do it.
How many times have you done it live though? Huh? This is the first time you're live. By the way, we only have like 3 viewers right now, so hey.
Hi, 3 viewers.
I think at least one of them is my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mrs. Howard. In Texas.
She's been talking to herself.
I can't remember if I've done one live before. I think they've mostly been pre-recorded. Maybe one other time, but it's a little. I don't remember. It's been so long.
I didn't always do this live. In fact, the first, I think it's like 10 or 11 episodes. It's just me talking to myself. Yeah,
really?
Because I was in the middle of like all that divorce shit. Like I was just like, I was like, I got to figure some stuff out.
Oh God.
And so,
when was your divorce? When was your divorce?
2018.
Okay.
19?
Okay.
Was it 19? I think it was 19.
I don't know. Was it?
I don't know. I'm terrible with time.
I can tell you when mine was. Mine was 2013.
Wow. And how long were you married though?
I was married for 3 years, and we met on a plane, and we eloped to Vegas 3 months later.
Mine was pretty similar. It was fast. It wasn't quite that fast.
Yeah.
But it was almost as fast. We were married, I want to say 9 months after we met. Something like that.
Okay.
But we immediately started a family. And then I was like, I should probably, because I was DJing at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I was playing in a band, and I was playing in a band, I was DJing, I was working at Starbucks, and I was working at Guitar Center. stretching myself thin. And I think I was teaching too. For a while, I was teaching a little bit too, teaching drums. And I was like, man. So not the pandemic, the market, housing market bubble thing happened, and gas prices shot up, and fucking Guitar Center was like, you're not selling enough stuff. We have to let you go. And then Starbucks was like, we got to make some cuts. We're going to let you go. And I was like, so all I had left was DJing, because, you know, you're playing in a band, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
And all I had left was DJing, and I was like, man, we wanted to start a family, so I was like, all right, I'll just join the military, because I know I'd avoided it for a long time, because my dad was in the Air Force. He did like 22, mom correct me, 22, 23 years. And I always knew, that was in my back pocket. It was like, okay, if I know that I'm not doing anything creatively and I need something stable, I can always enlist and I'll be fine. And so that's what I did. I enlisted. And yeah, we had a family pretty quick. We were married for like 9 years.
Wow. That's, you know, that's commendable. That's longer than most Hollywood marriages.
It should have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, mine too. But
dude, we did a whole podcast on it. I don't think any of it's posted anymore, but like her and I had a podcast for a while about like how we were doing, and because she has she's had very different life than I had. I had a very, very stable childhood. 23. Mom says 23 years. My dad was for 23 years. But yeah, her and I had very different childhoods. So that was part of the podcast. It was like her talking about how she's dealing with her shit, and like how I was dealing with her shit. It was a pretty neat concept for a podcast. But once the marriage started failing, it was like it got increasingly more difficult to record episodes.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine.
And I was like, I really like doing this. I
can't imagine having to record a podcast with a partner who, you know, if the relationship is dissolving.
Yeah, we did. I think we did like 2 or 3 episodes as the shit was going down. It's kind of cool. I don't know if they're posted anymore, but it's actually pretty awesome. Like you can hear this progression. Yeah. And then the last couple of episodes, it's like my friends were like, dude, what the fuck?
Like, what is happening?
Wow. My mom couldn't listen to like the second to last. She was like, I can't listen. I was like, I don't blame you. So, but yeah, we ended up divorcing, and I was like, I like doing this podcasting thing. So I'm going to keep doing it. And so I started this one. So the first like 10 or 11 episodes are like me talking to myself. And I was like, okay. Yeah. That's and I was intermittent with it. And I thought, okay, what can I do to make myself be more consistent? And I thought, well, if I have guests on, that'll kind of hold my feet to the fire. And I was like, if I do it live, then hopefully people will start to expect me on a certain time frame, and it'll even more hold my feet to the fire. So that's the only reason why I do it live. Long story short.
I like that. That's cool. Yeah, consistency is key for sure. I mean, if people expect us at a certain time every week, then that's really good for building an audience. So kudos to you for that.
You guys do Dick Talk. You release them once a week?
We release them once a week. We record, twice a month usually. Wow. And this next iteration of episode recording, Amanda and I are going to be doing 4 episodes in one day. So we have 3 guests and 4 episodes. So that should be a stretch. Are they going to be in-house guests, or are they going to do a Zoom Skype thing? And they're going to be in-house. They're all coming. They're all in the LA area for our friends. And yeah, so it's going to be a stretch, but that'll cover us for the whole month of August. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Dude, had I had the budget, I would have flown you out to sunny Connecticut.
I know, right? I think I've been to Connecticut once. Have I? No, I don't think I've been to Connecticut.
Pfizer's down the street from me.
Oh, all right. Well, I've got that in my arm. So
table, that's what I got. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Terrible joke.
Yeah. So, yeah, LA's a grind, but it keeps me busy, and I enjoy it, and it really makes me appreciate when I do get time off. So, I only get to visit Texas and my family like once a year.
That's more than me. I went home in 2019 last for Christmas.
Wow. Ugh.
4 weeks. It's amazing.
Has the pandy affected you a lot other than working from home?
That's pretty much it. I mean, it was weird. It was like, it was 2019 when I finally, like, when the ink was finally dried on the divorce. It was 2019, and funny enough, like it did affect me in a weird way because like throughout the entire divorce for like a whole year, the kids lived with me because my ex didn't have a place of her own, essentially. And that was part of the agreement, was that she needed to have her own place so that the kids could have their own rooms.
Yeah.
That way she's not having to share with roommates and all that stuff.
Right.
So they lived with me for a whole year. And right when she finally got her own place that she could actually take the kids overnight, the pandemic lockdown started like the day after.
Oh, God.
So like that whole year of my newly found freedom, I was with the kids every single night. I didn't really go out because I was like, I'm not gonna pay a sitter. Like, I'm just gonna hang out with the kids. And then like right as soon as they were able to go somewhere else for the evening, pandemic, and we were all locked down.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was rough. So
are things still closed down over there, or are they opened up? What's the situation?
It's pretty opened up, actually.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, they're going to make me start going back to the office soon, in a couple of weeks, which
sucks. R.I.P.
Sucks, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, I've been doing my job 100% from this desk with no problems. I can do conference calls. I don't need to be in the office. Not at all.
Why do they need you in the office?
I don't know.
If you could do the job remotely, why do you need to go in?
I don't get it. This argument. The problem is the company I work for is a lot of veterans.
Okay.
And you know how the military works. I think you actually posted something about it today. If it makes sense, right?
We don't do that here.
We don't do that.
We don't do that here. If it makes sense, we don't do that here.
We don't do that. So yeah, most of the people that I work with and for are veterans. So it's like, that's how the company operates.
Yeah, I guess. Well, enjoy your last 2 weeks of freedom, I guess, before you go in and you're shackled to a desk once more. Another desk.
This desk is amazing. I have a nice big window right here. My back door, my backyard's right there. The bathroom's right there. The kitchen's right through there. My chair's
There's no office drama when you work from home. You don't have to worry about awkward, water cooler talk. Like, how'd you see that big game? Like, I don't care, Phil, about the game.
I don't watch any games. I don't want any
small talk with you.
No, don't care.
I don't like you. I want to go home.
The problem is I live down the street too, so I usually walk home for lunch.
Oh, you could?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice that you're within walking.
Yeah. I barely have to drive. But like, oh man, yeah. It's
rough.
It's so stupid. Like in fact, you can make the argument, you got me on a thing now. You can make the argument that my whole department has been way more efficient from home than we were in the office. Because now we're not fucking turning around in our chairs being like, hey, how was your weekend? Like, we're not doing that shit.
Exactly. You're just focused on your job.
Yeah. Clicking away, making shit happen.
It's a beautiful thing.
Fuck.
I mean, what do we know, right?
I don't know anything. I don't run a company. I'm not an officer. I don't know anything. I work for a living. How is that? So you got did you wait? So how does that work? Did you get like a legit commission since it's this California thing, or?
I did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little interesting because I'm not used to being saluted or called ma'am yet.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I have a great team I work with.
Oh,
and
I thought you were going to say I have a great salute, which you probably do because you were enlisted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We have a great team. We work in the strategic communications office. So, yeah, we put out the stories of the California State Guard, and it's a lot of fun.
That must have been a fantastic day when you did the
It was great. It was great. It's something I never envisioned for myself. I mean, when I was on active duty in the Marines, I was always told, oh, you should go officer, you should go officer. But I just knew, especially after 8 years, I mean, going into 10 years, I knew at the 8-year mark that I wanted to get out. And I started putting, things into place to,
Well, they would have made you commit
school.
too for, it's a lot of years, isn't it? Like once you go from officer or enlisted to officer, they make you commit for a while.
It's a few years, and it wasn't my calling. I didn't want to do something just because other people told me I should.
Right.
I want to do something that I feel called to do.
Well, it's a whole different job too. Once you cross over, it's a whole other ball of wax. You don't get to do, maybe, I don't know. I haven't been an officer, but it seems like you don't get to do the cool stuff that you used to do when you were enlisted.
Well, even on the enlisted side, I saw, because I was starting to ascend the ranks, I was a staff sergeant when I got out. And even at that point, I saw my future for the next 10 years, if I decided to stay in, as being going into meetings and delegating versus going out and shooting the story myself and interviewing people and doing the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that person in the office assigning stories for 10 years and being this salty master guns or whatever, like I wanted to be the person, the boot on the ground, gathering the stories.
Yeah.
And, then I, when I was actually deployed is when I saw myself becoming a film producer.
Cool.
Because, they really taught me how to become a one-man band, so to speak. I learned how to shoot everything myself, write, edit, basically produce.
Well, and
so I really have them to thank for helping me get on this path. And going to film school, I was that much more prepared. And I've definitely carried a lot of those lessons from the Corps into my career right now.
Project management, I bet, too.
Absolutely.
100%. Yep. You got deadlines, you got timelines, you got a lot of what we like to say in the military, moving parts. Right? A lot of fucking moving parts.
That's great. I feel like you should be holding a coffee cup. Like a lot of moving parts here.
Fellas, we got a lot.
We're gonna need you to come in on Saturday.
A lot of moving parts. I'm gonna piggyback off what the XO said.
Yeah, piggyback. Oh god.
Safety stand down. We're gonna talk about alcohol.
Oh,
don't get a DUI.
Those were the worst. I mean, of course they're like necessary, but there's got to be a better way to do them,
Yeah, there has to be. I remember that there was one moment when I was in active duty, and we're going to wrap soon because I know you got to go. There was one moment that I knew I was not a lifer, and here I was, pretty fresh E6, and I'm sitting in a meeting. Like like an all hands kind of thing. And there's another guy who's an E6. He's been in for like 19 years. And he's like, he's old too. He joined late too. So he was like 40 something, 45. I say old, but come on. Old for the military. And
the military, yeah.
I'm like, this dude's been on for like most of his adult life. And we're sitting there and we're all being lectured on not drinking and driving and all the sexual harassment thing, like all the stuff you get, like how to cook a turkey and make sure you don't burn your house down and make sure you put sunblock on when you go swimming, like all the stupid shit you get.
Common sense
shit. And I look over at this guy and I'm like, this man is 40 something years old and you're treating him like he's 19. And I was like, this is not for me. I can't do this. I'm not going to be that guy. Like I would feel, maybe this is just my ego, but I would definitely feel a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Gone. The word's gone. Diminished, maybe? Like patronized?
There's always a reason why, and it's because someone ruined it for everybody.
I know, and that's what.
There's always someone who had a DUI.
That's where I went next. I was like, you know what? Some of these fucks need this.
There was someone who didn't wear sunscreen at the beach and got like 2nd-degree burns or something. Like there was someone who ruined it for everybody.
And he was 48 years old and he was in E8. He was, that was it.
Operational risk management, or ORM for short. You got to think about these things, Patrick.
When's the last time you got?
Anything about safety.
When's the last time you got shipmated? Do you guys shipmate in the Marine Corps?
No. We devil dog. We devil dog. Like, hey, devil dog.
Is that a good thing though?
Like, oh, did I fuck up? I fucked up if someone calls me devil dog.
Oh, so it is. It's the same as shipmate.
That's the equivalent of shipmate.
Yeah, you don't want to get shipmated.
Like, oh, God.
Shipmate. Oh, fuck.
Whoa. That just gives you like an icky feeling inside, you know?
It's weird too, because when I got out and I would meet people who were Navy veterans, they would call each other shipmate. I'm like, why are you doing that? You know better. What is wrong with you?
No. If I ever said devil dog, it would be ironically like, hey, devil dog, you know, like it wouldn't be like
shipmate.
Yeah, like yeah. But,
okay, so next time you go and you're with the guard, you have to knife hand somebody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got the.
They gotta put that officer knife hand to work.
Got it down.
All right. Plug your things. Plug all the things right now. This is your chance on my
so you can check
700 person platform.
All right. Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Jennifer Brofer, and it's got links to all of my podcasts. My production company is Right Face Productions. My one podcast is Right Face Podcast. I have another podcast called Dick Talk and Mimosas. That's in my bio.
Fantastic.
So check that out. Yeah.
Is that it? I feel like there should be like 10,000 more things that you're saying.
I mean, there's a lot, you know. Check out pinupsforvets.com. Check out my theater company, loftensemble.org. They're also on Instagram at Loft Ensemble. And if you're in the Los Angeles, California area, go see one of their shows. They're going on every weekend.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Seriously, email me all that stuff and I'll put it in the show notes.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
This was so awesome. I'm so glad you did this. And hopefully,
thank you. I appreciate it. I got through one of my drinks.
I barely finished this. This is like a 4.5%. Nothing cheap beer from Aldi. So hopefully in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, we'll both be huge and we can do this again.
Exactly. I'd love that.
Right? We could be like, remember that time when we were both nobody?
And now, started from the bottom, now we're here. Mm-hmm.
All right. Have a good evening. Get to your meeting. Make shit happen.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
For unicorns!